Hey everybody, what's up? This is Papa Bale. Welcome to the channel. Uh, this I'm looking at the pulse motor. I've removed the permanent magnet stator and we're now dealing with just two. It's actually 6 coil drive circuit, and this is how it works. It goes here, there, there, then here, there, there. Okay, that's the order. Although it happens at the speed of light, that's the order in which it happens in. I know that, and then having everything go the right direction. So we'll give it a little, just a little tiny, and it coasts a lot better without any permanent magnet going in there. Wow, that is so awesome. Alright, we're going to cut it back all the way down. Alright, now we're going to let it coast out. And this is kind of just to see whether or not there's, last time when I said there was a load, it was this green wire was hanging over these red wires right here, and that was hooking the two circuits together at a different point. They were hooked together at 2 points, so it did act as a load because that was the circuit inside a circuit. But as soon as I straightened that out and uncrossed the wires, it works. It works just fine. Now, of course, I was even thinking about taking the rotor off and doing the magnets over again, just to see if we could get the rattling of the table reduced even further. It used to be really bad. And didn't take much speed at all to get it to shake. Now the bearings, I believe, are good right now. Bearings are good. There's a bearing on the top disc and a bearing on the bottom disc. There are 6 discs, 10-inch discs glued together. So there's a space in between the 2 bearings that is virtually like empty. So there's no friction there. Only the friction on the 2 bearings. And the reason I put 6 together is because it's 3/16, I believe, of an inch per disc. You put 6 of them together, you got 18/16, which is 1 2/16, which is more than an inch, which is just about what I needed. 1.26 inches. So there might be some overlap or some overhang. All right, wow, that's pretty cool. What was that, about a minute and a half? And I'm thinking it's because of the minor friction of this disc underneath here. In between each magnet node there is some friction. You can hear it sometimes when the motor's running. It'll sound like a, and that's the reed switch and these magnets. But I found that it's less friction doing it that way than stacking up bearings on the shaft and just resting them on the bearings. See, I've done it both ways. There's the bearings to rest them on, and yeah, so we'll get a nice little under carriage here. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Alright, so there's the flange at the bottom, and everything above that is just pole. So it's literally all that space right there is lifted. the bottom disc is lifting the top disc that much. Now if I took a row of magnets off the bottom, you notice how there's two there? I bet you it would fit kind of right in line with most of those coils. See, because you can see that it's too high right here. But over on the other side it's kind of just right. And that's because the pegboard, you see how it's like all disintegrated right here? I think in this hole where the shaft is going through and it's clamped in, there was a bit of WD-40 that was used and it soaked the hole. I'm not sure if I switched it yet. I'm pretty sure I did because that's a sturdy shaft. You know, I think maybe even if it got a little bit, yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll take one row of magnets off, get it a little bit lower on the shaft so that way it won't wobble around as much, and we'll see what happens. All right, I'll be right back. Peace out. All right, so, oopsie daisy, there it is. Taking one row of the magnets off and stack. Now we're going to put the rotor on. Okay, be right back. All right, we put it back on. We removed the stack. We're going to give it a little whirl, making sure nothing's knocking. And that should shore it up a little bit. I mean, it's going to shake the table regardless. Still moves pretty good. Here we go. What's going on here? Yeah, that's pretty loud. See, now here's the load I was talking about. Oh, it sounds like it's the load. You hear that? Should not be slowing down that fast. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely feels different. No, I think it's just the magnets rattling. It really does sound like that. The reason you know it's that, because when you cut the power, it's all the way cut and it's still making the noise. So I could either glue the magnets down or could remove the disc entirely and put the bearings back in. That's slowing down pretty fast, I'd say. Definitely feels like there's a load on that one. Alright, so I'm going to remove the disc. And put the bearings back on. Okay, so I removed the disc underneath completely. There still appears to be some kind of load on Just looking for any wires that might be connected incorrectly. Oh, it looks good. Because it feels like there's a load on here. Even more so without the disc than with. Okay, this is how it runs without the disc. I don't know, what do you think? I think it's a little slower. But it's moving around a lot less. Because the center of gravity is a little lower. But yeah, it's still moving, clipping at a pretty good rate. But you'll see it slow down like super duper fast. It's like, I wonder why it's doing that now all of a sudden. There's the load I'm talking about. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's just because there's more friction than there was with the disc. I don't know. But all I know is that I could get it to spin faster, longer, using that levitation disc. So I got 3 spots open, or I could up the amount of magnets on the rotor to 12 and have a completely different setup. But as for this setup, I got 3 spots open. Actually, you can put a coil anywhere to generate electricity. You can put like the generator coil like right there, and that would be cool. You can put one right here. You can put one here. Put 3 of them here, actually. You can put 3 of them in each one of these spaces. 2 in like that space right there. You could have it staggered a little bit. You could have one right there, and you could have one backed up right there. You could do lots of different things. But I just try and keep it simple so that I can understand what's going on and other people can see it too. Yeah, it's just looking at it, it's a little lopsided. It's better now than it was before though. But see now, this one's almost right. It's a little low. See? And then this one is like really low now. Yeah. And you can see where the magnets are off. Like, that's right. This is almost right. So if you move this magnet over a little bit, it'll be right. This one's almost right. These 2 are way off. And that one's kind of way off too. Well, if we move it like that, and these 2 are off and the other one's kind of on. But yeah, I mean, some of the magnets can be moved to make this operate more efficiently. Alright, so I'm gonna go think about what I want to do for the 3 spots, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so what I decided to do is do 2 experiments with just a single drive circuit with 9 coils, but like one system after the other. They're all going to be connected via diode to one another. We're going to try to have as much, backflow as possible. I know that it's like this part of it, but We're going to use diodes. We're going to use a capacitor, this big thing right here. We're going to use that. And we're going to charge the capacitor with the power supply. That makes sense? I mean, we could get really creative and we could use these coils to charge the capacitor, but it'll be the same going in as it is coming out. So I don't know. Like what we'll have is a diode going from this blue clip out. So if I could, yeah, I got one right here. So from the blue clip out, and then we'll clip 2 clips to the negative side. One going to this coil and one going to the capacitor. Now, that particular diode is a 3 amp 1000 volt capacitor. And since we're only dealing with like very small, I mean, not, it's just enough to be careful with, but the max here is 25 volts and 20 amps, but I never see more than 3.5 amps. Really, I've seen 4 or 5 once, but everything kind of blew out then, and because the stuff that I'm using here is meant for like shop class and whatnot. I mean, that's not exactly what I mean. This is not industrial strength stuff. I mean, the multimeter might be industrial, but I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it is what it is, but I like it. And I like getting into using the diodes and having it, I don't know, kind of change the direction of things. So we split it there and we run it to the capacitor. And then we have another diode that goes to the end of that one right there. So we'll put an extra one in there. We'll put a diode on the end of that, and then we'll hook the yellow one up to the diode. And then it'll circle around to this one. Same thing, and come around right here. And then this white one, instead of hooking to the reed switch, I'm going to hook it into the next coil over here. And I'm thinking we're going to start with cores. We're going to have some cores in there. Start. And what I'm really thinking about right now is where we're going to put the other end of the capacitor, where we're going to hook that in. Do we just want it on the 3rd circuit? I'm not sure. But, you know, yeah, we'll probably just do it on the 3rd circuit. Or we'll have it all be one circuit and we'll just have it feed into the beginning here. This blue one is the beginning. I mean, after you get through all this jazz over here, this is where it starts with the coils, right here. Where you make the connectivity between the power supply and the coils. It's right there. So if we do 1, it would be 7, 8, 9, and it would end back there. So that coil then would be hooked to the reed switch, which is over here. Oh, since this is the first one and we're going like this, we'll put the first one here, second one there, and the third one here. So that means this white cord is going to have to creep over to here. Yeah, that works. That actually makes more sense to have it go 1, 2, 3, right? And then the second experiment, if we even get around to that right away, will be to take the cores out and just use the larger size coils. See what we can make out of that. $22,000 100-volt. So 22,000 micro. Yeah, that's going to be fun, hopefully. We could even have both the ends of each one of these. So we would actually want to have the capacitor over here. And the end, and the end. We could all hook to each point of that. Actually, we're only going to hook 2 of that. 2 of that. I don't know, actually. Could hook all 3. To that and have the one come out to this point. See the negative stripe, this gold stripe right there, have that end come out to right here, because they're all going to be connected to each other, and it via diode. We're connecting everything now via diode, just to try to channel or guide or whatever they do, prevent backflow. I don't know exactly, but they're directional, so I'm going to use them. Yeah. All right. So I think I don't know if we can get it to run for, I don't know how good the capacitor's for, if it's charged up. I don't know how to tell all that stuff. Wow, there was a lot of tug on that. So, I mean, naturally we could even have them be generator coils. This is going to slow it down, I think, a tremendous amount. I'm just getting the gauge here. This is without the levitation disc. Super cool. But it's going to slow down apparently very quickly. It's probably because of the bearing friction. Alright, I'm going to take it easy for a minute. Thanks everybody. Peace out. Have a good night. Please subscribe. Bye now.